So I had a question. I was asking,
Yes.
would you say everything that you started doing immediately you lost your brother was your way of grieving? Because I understand grief can cause us and push us to do things
Yes.
that at that particular time we don't consider any other person,
Mm-hmm.
because people grieve differently.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that was the case?
Yeah, it was the case. And now another thing that I came to find out is that I was grieving my brother. We were very close. And now I don't know how to live without a brother because the others are sisters.
Yeah.
And then also, another thing that I came to find out is that now I don't know how will my parents handle me. How will they treat me now that I'm the only boy?
Yeah.
Because I used to see it's like my father used to hate me, and the only child that he used to love is gone. Now nilikuwa najua hapa vita itakuwa kubwa sana. And I'm not saying that my father used to hate me.
Yeah.
It's only that mimi kwangu kulingana na vita na all that, I used to know this man does not love me. So what happened is that I grieved my brother by now becoming addictive. Because one of the things that we look at the common signs for addiction, one of them is stress relief. So hapo ndio mtu anaanzanga inakuwa addiction. Stress relief. And then now we have the second one, you have family history. Yeah. So ndio sasa wakati, because nakumbuka siku ya mazishi, I drank like I have never drunk before.
Were you drunk in your brother's burial?
Yes. I was drunk like never before. In fact, wakati mazishi iliisha, because mimi sikwenda na gari ya familia, niona na gari ya maboys, so ndio nikae hapo. Na wajua sasa it's party and all that, hiyo gari kuna pombe kuna nini, so from there now I entered into addiction. I became an addict of alcohol. So ilikuwa ile now within a very short time I couldn't do without alcohol. And it came on, ikagraduate ikakuja mbaya sasa, yenye unasemeanga lazima utoe lock asubuhi. And when it comes to that, ujue mtu kumtoa hapo itakuwa ni kazi ngumu, because your system now, yes, it is depending on alcohol.
For it to function.
Yes, and for you to eat, you need to take alcohol first for it to give you an appetite.
Wow.
Yes, I could not take tea in the morning. If I take tea in the morning, I will vomit.
If you take tea without having taken alcohol?
Yes. And if I take alcohol in the morning, the first thing I will do, I will not take tea. I will take maybe a soda, something, with a bit of snacks. And also lunchtime, I cannot take anything that has fat unless I take alcohol. Then let me give you now. I think you have gone into maybe slums or places where they sell alcohol too much. You find out that there is those potatoes that they sell in a karai with some nyamas there, the pork meat.
Yes.
They are very cheap because they are 20 shillings and on 20. Yeah. That used to be my food. I could never spend more than 50 shillings in food, because if I have 100, I will use 50 to drink and then use 50 now to eat, which sasa hii imenisukuma sana, ni yenye nimepata watu wengine wakikula, because you see, when I started alcohol, I used to take beer. No, I started with spirits. I came now to beer, and then now it came now to changa. When you get into a level of changa, is where now you cannot afford the beer. Yes, because that is where now, in those years now, keg, something we call keg, started being introduced. So when you get into a level of taking changa, is because you cannot afford, and also into that level you become an addict that even beer, hata kunywa chupa ngapi, you cannot be drunk. Yeah. because now it is used to something that is more conk. Yeah. So so I started taking changa, and at that level of taking changa, I think with 200 shillings, I'm the boss. I'm the boss.
Ni wapewe,
Yes.
naambianga wapewe nini? Vile walivyo.
Walivyo. And you see, at that moment, I remember in those, even now, I think, kuna wale watu wa mjengo wanamkanga asubuhi, very early in the morning, we hear them by 4, 5.
Yeah.
Most of them used to pitia in
Pass
that
by
place
there.
of changa, and they take. So I could take changa, I go home by 12, and then by 12, by 4, I am up. Hiyo pombe kwa system ishaniamsha sasa, tena imeanza kuisha, ina demand something else, you top up something else. So I'll stay in that place the whole day, and I'll make sure I'll go at night. So at that moment I came in, I got into a place of where now I married. And
amongst the many girlfriends you have.
amongst the many. And this particular one, when I married her, I would say it was kind of, I wanted to prove a point to my boys.
Okay.
Yeah. Because walikuwa wamemjaribu wakalemewa. So in our area, msichana wote angekulemea mimi niko hapatwa. Because okay, I don't know how God used to do it. I don't know. Even now I don't know how to say it. And then don't forget, when I used to be that drunk, I could sit with you down and I could discern something. I could give you a prophetic word and it will work as a drunkard.
How did people used to take that?
At first, people never realized it, but later on they came to realize that I used to carry a prophet. They never called it prophetic.
Yeah.
They used to say that niko akikwambia kitu, make sure itafanyika.
Okay.
Be assured itafanyika. I used to be prophetic. I used to dream dreams that used to come into reality.
Did you ever share it with anyone?
Yeah, I used to share.
Parents, maybe?
Even when I shared with my parents, my own brother dealt of his own death. My own brother. Don't forget, at this time that I've been a drunkard, my father is a bishop.
Oh,
we grew up in a Christian family.
Okay.
Yes. My dad is a bishop. So me and my brother used to walk in prophetic.
Yeah.
Yes. We used to walk, both of us used to walk in prophetic. And I remember my brother used to be used by God in dreams. And at that moment ningekuwa kwa bar. Naweza kuwa asubuhi niliota na yeye nikuje nikwambia unajua niliota. Na nikaota umefanywa hivi na hivi na hivi. Umekuwa mgonjwa. If you don't take it seriously, you fall sick. Yes. Now, unajua ile
how will I take serious a word of a drunkard amekaa kwa club hapo? So maybe later when it's hitting me is when I will realize.
Yeah. Let me tell you what happened one day. I sat with a man that even today I tried to look for him. I have never found him. He's called Getao.
Yeah.
That man, we used to be very close. The man used to be rich, but ikafika mahali pesa ikaisha.
Yeah.
So juu ya ile stress, unajua ukiwa ile level, you have come down. The man became a drunkard. And when he became a drunkard, we became very close. The both of us, we were addict.
Yeah.
So tulikuwa, na alikuwa nakuja ameng'ara vizuri. One day kama tumekaa naye kwa bar, nikamwambia, it will not take long before you come out of this situation. Haikuenda 1 week. They used to school with a few people they used to school with. Yeah. 2 of them were pastors. Walikuja kumtafuta hadi kwa bar.
Wow.
Walikuja kumtafuta. So by the time nakuja, mimi nilikuwa nishaenda home kuchange. And hii pombe yangu ilikuwa mbaya, sikuwa naoga. So nilikuwa nimeenda hiyo siku na sio kuoga, kupiga passport. Yeah. So nikarudi and ni hiyo time sasa mnakaa mnakunywa keg, lakini umeshakunywa changa asubuhi ndio this to take. So when I came back nikapata amebaiwa pombe na pastors. But from that day it was the end of Getao kumuona na hata wale sijui kwenye alienda. So they knew what they were doing. I think they had about him and how kitu amekuwa addict kwa pombe. na ninasikia walikuwa na wakati mzuri sana na wakacha wameomba.
Kwa club.
Yeah, because hata mimi nikiwacha pombe niliwachia kwa basi, kuachia kwa church. Yes.
So you please let us get to understand
yes,
how that
now
happens.
now it was a journey that I walked. Now this time that I'm drinking, by years and every day I'm hating myself. I'm hating what I'm becoming, and I don't know the way out of it. And it got now into a place where now siko na shughuli sasa na wasichana.
Yeah.
Sasa ni pombe yangu, niamke asubuhi nijue venye nitaenda kwa changa, nishinde kwa changa the whole day. You could not talk me out of it.
And where is your wife? Tumeacha umeoa, ako home.
Sasa nimeoa, nimekuja sasa, nimekaa na yeye for 5 years. Sasa she could not put up with it. I've become an addict. You are not providing, you are not doing anything. Uko na watoto. You see, nimepatana na msichana, nimeprove a point. Amepata mtoto. Yeah, I have a firstborn who is 20 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So mtu mkubwa. So we sometimes sit with my son down and I tell them these stories. I don't hide them. It from them. They need to know. So ikafika mahali hata sijui, in fact mimi sibebangi ni kama ilikuwa marriage. Yeye ndiye alikuwa ameolewa. Okay, I was never in it.
Yeah.
Men, wanaume wanawanga out of circumstance na pressure mob sana. Yeah, because there is a man who get married because ataoa sababu ya wazazi wanamwambia maka imeenda wewe. Poa. Na kuna mwingine ataoa sababu umepata mtoto na mtoto amekuja. It was not out of love.
Yeah.
But I learned so quickly to love her, but eventually it never haikukaa for a long time. So it's those mistakes that people make in life and we mess up. So by the time nimefika mahali tena tumewachana, nikaingia sasa kwa pombe tena zaidi. Yeah, I was never ready. You know, all this time, I even don't know who I am in life. I've not found myself.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find the little boy I was and what I wanted to become. Sijajipata. Then I'm disappointed that si kusoma venye nilikuwa nataka. Because masomo nili give up kwa masomo kitambo sana. Si nilikuwa nataka, and then when I grew up now, also I wanted now to become a pastor. Apart from drinking, but naona sasa ulevi imeingia. I don't know how to come out of it for me to preach. But nikiwa kwa band ya kupea neno. How?
Did you ever used to go to church considering your dad was a bishop?
Kuna siendi. Na hata in fact nilikuwa nimefikanga mahali nachukia church. Baga kuna time niliambianga Mungu asikai kuja huku chini, akae huko juu, tusikai wanana. Mtu akae kwake, wewe akae juu, because I used to think God wherever he is. Kuna time anashuka. Anakiza nilikuwa namwambia weka huko, nikae hapa. Na usikai usikuje. So I entered, there was that love for God.
Yeah.
But sometimes because of disappointments and all that, I used to feel like it's like even God himself, he does not care about me. Yes. So that went on, nikakuwa an addict. My sisters used to pray for me because one of my sisters got born again before me. Na akaingia kwa church mbele yangu. He used to pray for me and all that. They used to make every effort. My two sisters, they used to, we are very close. In fact, our last born, I think we are very close. Yes. So this one graduated, ikakuja hivyo wanawake, and then ikafika mahali. I remember one time I slept with a woman that was a HIV. How I got out of that, I don't know. It's God.
Because I can't imagine that with your carelessness, with the being drunk and the many 3-5 women you ever care for.
Mimi pombe tu kuingia hivi kwa mwili. Second thing I would think for is a woman. And I don't know where they used to come from. That thing even now. Because alcohol and women, yes. So unapata ya kwamba wakati umekunywa, ya pili utafikiria
ni mwanamke.
na unaweza kuwa na mwanamke asubuhi, saa 7 na jioni.
But you are drunk.
Me, my life, I'm going to say this, it's by
Yeah.
God. Mimi, if I can count, I used protection, I think, twice.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm tempted to ask
Yes.
a question.
Yeah.
Up to this point. I don't know how it's gonna come out, but how many women from the time you knew this is what this is? Because I understand the journey of finding yourself after someone is molested sexually. It's a journey that unless someone comes from where you are and picks you up, because you can be 30, but you're molested at 6, and someone needs to go back and pick the 6-year-old. But by the time you're picking the 6-year-old, the 30 has quite a number.
Yeah.
So, asi zinasikia nowadays inaitwa body count. Utauliza swali yako ni ngapi?
If I count them, naweza count 200. Okay, when I talk about 200 is what I remember. Ni zenye nakumbuka because
no, 200.
Yes. Mi peana story. Right now, okay, if my wife gives this story, she gives it better than me. When we got married, she says that tunaendanga tao, where it's true. We used to even to go to places with her, and someone would greet me. I don't know who that person is. Then itadisturb. Unajua unamesalimiwa na mtu utashindwa ni nani. Itanisumbua. So nikakaa nitamwambia nimekumbuka. Huyo nilihava one stand with her. Na hata sijui jina yake. Akiniuliza hivyo namwambia sijui. Because I didn't have time to ask. So niondoke hapo urudi kwa pombe. 200. Yeah, 200. So it was a journey that I walked. Na ulikuwa unapata, when I say 200 is when you hear that uko na cube na cube yako wanakujanga hivi
asubuhi saa 8
jioni. Yes.
Na usiku.
Yes. But usisahau hata ukiwa na wanawake wote there is one that I used to love. Kuna wewe tu mmoja unakuanga unampenda. Na hata ukichunguza hao wanaume wote wanapitianga hiyo. That tunamwonanga na one woman to another. She has that one woman anakuanga me respect.
That one woman know about the others?
Wengi wao wajuangi.
Okay.
That man tries a lot as him heart. Na hiyo relationship ikienda, that man can break down.
Question. The other, let me call them 99, they are 200. You've mentioned 200.
Yes.
So are the other 99 a backup plan or a fallback plan to avoid maybe waking up one day and being disappointed by this very one that you feel like this is where my life is, but I don't want to admit it to myself. I don't want to let go. So I still want to hold on to something that in case she does disappoint me, I can like, after all, you're just meaning haukuwa peke yako. Is there kind of a plan B or something?
That is one. But the major one, you don't know how to live alone. You stay alone.
You don't know how to live alone, but she's there.
You are trying, because you're trying to find yourself, and you're thinking the only place you can find yourself is in a woman, because hakuna mtu atakuja kwa maisha yako akiwa fully packed. Hakuna package mzima, lazima kuna kakitu atalaka. Yes. So this woman that you love, she's lacking something that you're trying to find in another one. Have you ever had a situation where you can hear a man say, I have 2 women I love?
And is it, I always ask myself, is it possible for a man to equally love 2 women?
Yes, it is. In fact, it's not about love. There is something in them anapenda. Kuna kitu ako nayo na huyu mwingine ana. Na hataki kuachilia both of them. Because anapata yenye iko kwa huyu, haiko kwa huyu, na akilose huyu atapata kwa huyu.
Okay, Pastor, let me ask you a question. This is going to be a complicated question from where you stand as a pastor, as a counselor, and with your history. Is it possible for a man to stay with a woman because that woman can be good in bed. We are mature people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She might lack every other thing, but the major thing in her, she's good in bed, and he can overlook everything else because of that.
Yes. It is very possible because I remember there was one lady that I would sleep with any woman that I meet outside there. But kuna huyo special one. Yeye ndiye anaweza lala kwangu. I will feel comfortable with her.
Wengine hamwezi lala.
Yes, because now when it comes to party or sex, she's okay. I will not discuss much about what I want in life and all that. Hata ajui tunaelekea wapi. But hata yeye pia mwenyewe the only part ana enjoy ni ya sex. So nitamtafuta when nitasikia sasa mind yangu iko very loaded and I need now kuondoa hizi mambo zote. Because with the other women I'm not satisfied. You know, there is sleeping with a woman and releasing but never satisfied. Okay, to say
this is a discussion you need to come back in
yes.
issue and educate us more because there's a day I wrote in one of my social media handles.
Yes.
Friends, I think I said sex is not intimacy. And I found a lot of questions in my inbox. What does that mean? So that's a topic for another.
Because there is also a man who sleeps with a woman with the face of another woman.
I think I've heard that.
Yes.
I've heard that.
I need to think about that woman.
For you to.
Yeah, that is it.
Okay.
That happens a lot. Now, when we go back now, this drunkenness, ikaenda na addiction ikakuwa too much.
Yeah.
And now it came to an year where now I knew now this has to come to an end. But I didn't know the way out. Let me say this. Every person that has someone that is struggling have an addiction.
Yeah.
One of the mistakes that we do is by telling that person that you are mature enough to make decisions. You are telling a person who is addicted and is already in a ditch that I don't know how to come out of it, then you are telling me I'm a mature person to make decisions. I need help. And that is the reason why most of them go to rehabilitation and come back and go back to the same.
We tend to think they are not responsible.
Because whatever this man is carrying inside, he has no place to pour out. Because this man is dealing with childhood wounds, where now the boy, he's trying to find the boy he lost. Because in every man, there is a boy. So that boy, he's trying to look for him. Because in that boy, he can rectify where he went wrong. So he's trying to look for that boy to rectify now where I went wrong in this now state that I am. So when he's trying to look for that person he can talk to, it's very, you find that the man get lost, but when he's trying to look for that help now, you are telling him you are a mature person who can make a decision. But I don't know the way out. Even when I was coming out of it, I didn't know the way out. Mine happened that when I wanted to come out, and when I was in that pub seated down, the voice of God came to me. It's time for you now to leave this thing and go and serve me. So I knew if I don't do that, God will eventually kill me because I was seeing death everywhere I was going. I knew my time because I had lost 2 friends in alcoholism. Let me say this. That time is when you used to hear stories that people used to go and drink and become blind. There was an incident that happened in that area of Kangemi where people became blind. I went to drink in the same place in the morning, and the same alcohol I took, Changa, is the same thing that these people came and took, but I never became blind.
And you still went back?
No, I never went back to that place, but I went back to Changa anyway. Yes,
even after God saving you from
I still continued.
To you, it was just.
It was that. You see, addiction, one of the things of addiction is that that person has given up in life. Yeah, I have given up in life. I have nothing now I'm living for. I'm living by, even I don't know if myself I'm living.
If I ask a question, this time around that you're drinking this much, even before you tell us how you obeyed the voice of God about walking out of that. Where were you getting money to drink? You're still...
Now I'm not stealing anymore because this time now my parents have known how to keep their money in the bank. And there is a lot of restriction because sasa uko na kwako, weka kwako huko. Don't come in my house. But people who have addiction, when it comes now pande ya pombe kwa bar, they are very generous. A person can buy me alcohol, not buy me food. They are very generous. Because let me say this. A person has gone for Mjengo, he has come with 200, and the only changa I need is for 50 shillings. So he will buy me because tomorrow nitalipa by kubuy ingine. We say that, we used to say that rudisha mkono. So we used to say that. So you find that people are very generous. And I remember one incident sijaisahau hata ya leo. Jamaa mmoja alinipata mahali na alikuwa is a man of God. Found me somewhere na ninja bar. Alikuja akanipea 200. But I remember your 200. Nakumbukanga sikukunywa for a long time. I think nilikunywa tu wiki mbili hivi nikaacha pombe.
It was like a
pathway out. It was like a pathway out. Came and gave me. Kaniambia enda utoe. Na aliniambia tu vizuri, enda utoe lock. Nienda kwa changaka na nachangamka mbaya sana. And then now, when it comes to addiction now ingine ya gambling, because I used to drink and I used to have an addiction of gambling. I used even to give my shoes out. Yani, you gamble your shoes. Have you ever heard where people gamble even their cars out? I used to even gamble a jacket. Naweza toka na jacket mpya home. Na haitarudi jioni.
It was that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad because pia natafuta pesa. It got into a place where nilikuwa hata naiba hata sufuria home. Napeleka kwa changa. Anything that inaweza.
It has monetary value.
Yes. Mimi simu ungeniweka na simu. Nikikaa na simu siku 3 ilikuwa nishangwe kwetu. Siku 3. So ulikuwa unapata nikipatana na anything uko home nauza. Especially something that is valuable, I would just sell. And I know a lot of people are going through that. Now, I know even people who have sold the land. You have given your child as an inheritance and then he sells it out. Because that one of the things is that room to ajaribu kujitafuta, and then there's some mess that I entered. Let me say this as now. There's kuna pombe yenye inafikanga where when it comes to family history, this one, if it's never broken, and if as a parent you don't break it, it's a pattern that will continue to your children. And it does not matter, because I have had these cases where the parent will tell you, my own father used to drink, but I never drank. Because wewe ulihepa lakini hukubreak. You escaped, but you never break the pattern. Because now ulipata mtoto na hukubreak the history of your family. So it will catch up with your children. So you get that people are struggling and people are telling you, I have never taken alcohol. But now you never repeated the sin, because there are people who took alcohol with covenants. And you came, but you never break the covenants. Yes, this is where you used to get people, they're slaughtering goats and all that, and alcohol. There are those alcohol that used to be taken with vows. Now you came and you never broke it. Now those patterns, there are also alcohol now, where now this one is unapata ni personal issues za mtu now that. Kuna mtu anazanga pombe akiwa mkubwa. Akiwa mdogo hakuwa anakunywa. But now kuna ule mwenye unapatanga alikuwa na wounds, childhood wounds, hakupata chance ya kukunywa wakati alikuwa na grow up. But sasa the wounds now, uchungu sasa inazidi wakati ashakuwa mkubwa.
Ama something can trigger the pain.
Yeah. Also now trigger is another thing. Ile saa tunaingia tunasema traumas and all those. Now hizo pia ni vitu zinatuma mtu afike mahali pa kunywa. So ile mbaya ile inazanga mtu akiwa mdogo. It's an addiction that imekuja. na iko na uchungu yake, because it's carrying certain pain.
Luggage.
Na pia every time that you talk to that person, you need to be very careful, because unaweza sema kitu yeah, so unapata mtu anakunywa. So in 2013 God came through, and I may say it's God.
Did you obey the voice?
Yes, I did. Fact, hata sikumaliza, ni ile watu unasemanga ni hiyo siku tu umeisikia that same day. And I remember my father gives me a story where he said that that night yenye niliwacha pombe, alikuwa kwa bedroom yake, akaambia Mungu, nao mahali nimefika, nimelemewa, na sasa mimi, wewe ni you're the one that uliumba mtoto, na wewe ndio unipe. Sasa I give it back to you, the creator, so you do with him whatever you see is good. And I say this, apart from selling things, my father bought me 2 cars. Zenye unasikianga umepatiwa gari umekunywa. Bought me a Canter, and it was a new one, but alifungua ni kama alilipea kwa boss, na pombe sasa ndio ilifunguka. Mtu ako na gari na ako na Canter, so you can imagine. So I used to, hata ningepark gari nje ya bani kunywe tu, ningepewa pesa, and hii pesa ujue hii gari ni ya loan, but hautaweza kulipa. Babangu ataweza. Yeah, he still did it out of love. He still did it because I think it's by that journey, I'm not sure, but when I look at my father, I know he knew somewhere he messed up in my early age, but now he's trying to rectify it by showing it. By then my dad is a very loving man, very loving. Anaweza kaa hivi, anaanza kufikiria, kwambia usifanye hivi hapa, and will support. But now hii kitu nishakuwa mkubwa, so itafika mahali nitaanza kuangalia sasa, umenipea ticket ya kwanza kufanya vile nafanya. But now by the time he was trying, it was too late, because I have gotten deeper, and also I'm having my pains. Nakumbuka ulinichapa, nakumbuka nikiwa mdogo ulinikompea. All those things used to happen. Nakumbuka nikiwa mdogo hukuacha ni watch TV, lazima nisome, unilazimisha. So all these things nikikumbuka, wakati unajaribu kufanya vizuri, ndio unapata inakuwa worse. That is why you hear parents complaining that I am trying my best to make a future out of this person, but it is not working. Every time that I'm trying, this child has to disappoint me. You need to go back as a parent and look, where did I mess up? And the best thing with this person and to deal with this person is by sitting him down. Remind him, I know I failed somewhere. And let him now pour out whatever is in his heart. Because pia, ile kitu sisi hatakangi kama wazazi ni kuambia ukweli. Unaona ni kama mtoto ana control ama na kuabuse. But haikuangi hivyo. If you let that pain in that person issue, that person will change. Because you have seen now, okay, I have found out someone who can listen to me, who I can pour. And then pia kwa sababu kama ulikuwa mkali, akipata umesikiza na ujibu, then don't tell the person what you want him to do. He's the one that is supposed to tell you what I want to do. If he tells you now, penye nimefikia, I know I have an addiction, I need to go to a rehabilitation. I once told my dad, he suggested that I go to a rehabilitation. I told him a rehabilitation cannot help me. I knew if I go to that rehab, when I come back, I'll go back to the same habit. So in 2013, now my dad prayed, and after prayers, as a man of God, God had him. Yeah. And that day, by that day, June, nakumbuka, when I heard the voice of God, I told everyone, I told them, now buy me, because you're buying me the last one. I'll never come back here. He thought I was joking. Mm-hmm. Nilitoka kwa baa hivi, sababu nakumbuka nilitoka usiku saa 6. Mm-hmm. And by asubuhi ile masaa ya kutoa lock nilikuwa nishaamka. But struggle zangu zilianza hapo. Yeah. All those symptoms and all.
Yeah. You're not used to sanity there. Not.
Yes.
Because also addiction is running away from the realities of life.
That is it. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and I thank God for my parents. At that time, they gave me a good environment. They really did.
Did they know?
Yeah, they didn't know even God has spoken to me. But sasa umeanza kuona huyu mtoto aendi kwa, amebadilika, aendi kwa pombe. So alafu pia walikaa waangalie cause sio iko mara ya kwanza kuacha pombe.
Okay.
I remember there was a time niliacha pombe for 6 months. Ilikuwa muda mrefu kwangu, 6 months. Then I went back now again.
So they were not sure even whether this time around you're gonna fall back.
They were not sure.
But
but this time they really tried. They really tried, especially my dad. He never did anything that would trigger or provoke or do anything. He gave me that environment. And I walked the journey. And I remember I walked the journey in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
Maisha yangu ilikuwa imeanza kubadilika, but I want to say this, when my life changed, I started entering into a place of prayer and fasting. I used to do that every week every week for 3 days, fasting and praying. I used to go to Katoloni a lot. And my mom used to support me. Sana alikuwa ananipea fare naenda. Within a very short time, I joined a group of people that used to have keshas every Friday. And now they became my friends. Na nikaanza sasa kupenda Mungu kabisa. And I loved God. I started seeking for God. This time, don't forget, I don't have someone who have held my hand to show me the way back to God. Na sina mtu anaweza niambia how do you do it? How do you deal with these things that are in your past? So hiyo time yote stories were spoken about me. Hiyo time nimekonda, huyu mwenye alikuwa nimewashaenda. So watu wakaanza kusema huyu hata aliwacha pombe sababu aliambiwa waache pombe na daktari sababu anakunywa dawa za ukimwi.
Hey, people always know you more than you know yourself.
Yeah. Na penye kwanza hizi stories zinaongelewa is mahali kwa salon. It was near where we live, where my parents are. And one day I remember I got so hurt that I said, now what I'm going to do, nitaenda niulize watu mbona wanaongea story yangu, na ilikuwa imeniuma sababu nilikuwa najua ni nani. But I remember when I was going, God asked me, kwa nini unaenda kunitetea? Wow. Yani mimi sijui kujitetea kama Mungu. God did not tell me ni mimi naenda kujitetea. Aliniuliza kama yeye ajui kujitetea. And I remember what happened after sikuenda. Within few years, I remember that woman na wakiwa na mama mwingine waliniita mahali wakaniambia, yenyewe acha tukwambie, we have seen how God can do. If God can change you, then hakuna mtu hawezi badilika. Huyo ni nani? Si ni Mungu. So nikakumbuka, that is why the reason why Mungu ananiambia, because hawangeona huyo Mungu kama ningeja kujitetea. So my journey now started in 2013. I remember it was after my birthday. I drank the month of my birthday in September. And sasa nikakuja October. Yeah. October ikuisha. And I remember nilikunywa August, September. It was my worst. I drank that like never before. Hiyo ndio wakati yenye wazazi wangu wanasemanga sasa tumelose mtoto kabisa. My sisters gave up. But I remember in 2013, October, hiyo ndio wakati niliacha pombe. And now sasa nikarudi kwa Mungu. And now I started a journey with God.
Were you going to fellowship in your dad's church, or you had to look for another church?
I looked for another church first. Then I came back now to my dad's place, the church. Nikakaa huko I think for about a year. Then after that, nikatafuta church mahali pengine. Because even I remember when I was doing my wedding in 2016, I never went back to my dad's place because I niliona sasa penye imefika chakuwa mtu mzima, and then also I needed to hear God clearly. There is a lot that I needed from God. In fact, one of the things is that I was trying to seek for God. There is things that I needed to understand from Him. Unajua, this is a personal walk. It's a personal walk. Yeah. Okay, where my dad I come from is another doctrine because I grew up in Wakorino. Yes, but I used to know this. I wanted to seek for something that I was lacking. So I came up na sababu unajua umeoa, huwezi peleka bibi yako huko because pia yeye ametoka CFF and all that. Yeah, so we started a journey. It took us time until now we landed in Life Church. Yeah, now we have found a new father and yeah, imekuwa kajani. So it has not been easy. And I remember even I talked about how I was molested with my parents, I think last year.
Yeah, I was about to ask you.
Yes.
Part of the healing is you going back to find the
Mm. Mm.
deviate a bit from what we are discussing.
Yes.
I've realized first, and I don't know whether you've realized that most of the people that we claim they have become gays and lesbians, they are people, according to the field that I've related with some of them,
Yeah.
they are people that have gone through sexual molestation.
So true.
And with the experience and say, if a lady was raped by a man, because right now, please, people should clarify who are you molested by,
Yes.
a male or a female. So you find out they hate that gender forever and they are like, me and men, we just can't do again.
Yes.
So the same case, I think, with men, men really also get to the same place in their life. These experiences I had with a particular woman, I don't want to go back. So you later went back
Yes.
to the 6-year-old boy and faced her. How did your parents take this? Considering, I feel like it carries a part, they would carry a lot of guilt knowing we didn't know. Maybe they regret, we wish you confided in us.
Especially for my mom, it was not easy. So for my mom, it was really a shock. You know, for every woman who has given birth to a child and all that, and knowing that I was not there when this was happening, it was really a shock to him. And it didn't take time. But what helped my mom is when now I sat with her down, the two of us, and we really talked about it. And to me, I was now happy that I was able to share with my mom. And now sasa naona the the bitter is out. But when I said it, I brought it out. It was not a joke. I was really mad towards my parents. So I never, when I was giving them all this, it was not easy, and I was not telling them in a polite way, because now where were you where this all happened? And I think the reason why I came out to talk about it, even to my parents, or it was by the help of my wife. He has really helped me because he wanted to find out exactly what really happened. He's the one person that sat me down and needed to know about my life history. So with this journey now, he told me now you can talk about it. Sorry, it became easy. So when I shared mine, it was not easy. And when I shared the story, afterwards is when my mom told me the man now was also jailed for life after doing the same thing to another child.
It happens like that.
Yes. So it was a journey, but I'm grateful to God because now I don't take it as I don't talk it with a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Because nilishatoa, nishaiongea, ishaisha. The problem is now when you find someone who is I've never talked about it. Yes.
But a lot of them don't get the platform.
Yeah, they don't because pia the environment is not hairuhusu. Mzazi yako busy anakuanga saa yote, ukienda kumwambia kitu nakwambia hizo ni story zako. And then their parents will take it lightly when you tell them. They tell you now this is something happened in your past. Why are you bringing it now?
Wazazi wetu naona ukiwakalisha chini wewe.
Yes. Always. Yeah, so huyu mtu anakwambia ni kitu ya kitambo. But they don't know it's what has given you pain all these years, and now you need to let it go. And if you cannot confine in your parent, then I don't see anywhere you can confine it. Yes.
Maybe the other question as we come to the end of our show, I'm going to ask you, how did you get to, I know it's quite, just in a nutshell, how did you get to narrate to your life, your wife, your current wife, about your numerous maids, and how did she take it, and how is your marriage?
So what happened is that when I met my wife, remember I was in Heaven's Gate for prayers, my life is an open book. I'm very easy of how I share my past. If I meet with you, I will share my past very easily. So when I met her for the first time, I gave her my life history.
In Heaven's Gate. That's
Yes, yes. I gave her my story of what I was going through. In fact, hata wakati tulikuwa na meet, hata sikuwa na hiyo intention that we will become something, just I was giving my story. So I gave out my story. This is who I am. And the reason why I did that, every woman that I met, I wanted to give my story for you to know, if you are coming into my life, this is the baggage that I have. This is what I'm carrying. Yes. But it really helped me because when she came in, she helped me a lot. In fact, she is one of the persons that has helped me heal very quickly. Very quickly. The first years of my marriage was not easy, but she really helped me. But I gave out my stories, how I used to sleep with women. It was very easy. But she really helped me because you can marry a friend who can really help me. In fact, when you hear her give the story, anaipeananga with a lot of business. Yes, because most of them are my past. Even now, there are stories that when I remember, she's the past person I tell.
Wow, wow,
Yes,
nice.
yes.
And now you are serving in Life Church.
Yes.
It happens to be our church too.
Yes.
And a pastor too.
Yeah.
And you're in guidance and counseling.
Yes, we do counseling with my wife, and also we are in crisis department, and we help people who have mostly me. I deal a lot with people who are dealing with addiction. Yes, addiction. I also do counseling by sitting down. My counseling is very easy. I will sit down and listen first. I think that is the biggest thing in counseling is by yes. Because one of the things that I want to find out, what is the root cause of whatever you are going through. Because if I find the root cause, it will be very easy now to help the other. Yes.
Wow. So, to our viewers, I would ask you to kindly share your number.
Yes.
I can tell you for sure that people are going through a lot,
yes.
and they don't have someone, not people,
yes.
someone to work with them.
Yeah.
And I know you won't mind to share your number to our viewers. Someone can reach out, and so that maybe we can help in one way.
Yeah.
Please,
okay.
Be kind enough to share your number or any other the way, even if it's your social media platform.
Yes.
And I believe you'll do it.
Okay. My number is 070 0701 11 52 46. 0701 11 52 46. Facebook, you can get me in Nicholas Njuguna. My name is Nicholas Njuguna. Utanipata.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Pastor Nicholas. And to our viewers, thank you so much for staying tuned. I want to believe that you have learned something because for me, I have learned a lot. And as we always say, we keep it inclusive reflections where we reflect about everything that has to do with life. So we walk a journey together to ensure that our lives are inspired by the stories that are aired on this channel. Please, if you have not subscribed, we remind you, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button so that you don't miss out on whatever show that we put up there. Thank you so much for the support so far. Until next time, keep it inclusive reflection and God bless you. I'm your host, Terry Sami. Goodbye.